Tuesday, June 15th, 2021, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So today, in my opinion, is going to be very important in terms of the Federal Reserve's stance towards monetary policy. I think it will be their last chance in the short to medium term to inform to the public, to give the impression that they're concerned about inflation, that they're going to put a lid on inflation. Of course, whether they succeed or not in doing that is a different question, but for market perception, it's very important. Today, we have the FOMC meeting starting, and tomorrow it ends, of course. We won't hear anything from them today, so tomorrow will be the key day. There will be the announcement. Jay Powell will hold a press conference. They'll give their forecast for the economy and other things. And he will also answer softball questions, probably. Maybe a little faster than a softball these days, but with what we're seeing in terms of rising prices or the consequence of inflation. Before I go a little deeper into this subject, though, I like to say that if you enjoy my videos but haven't subscribed yet, think about subscribing. It helps always to have more subscribers, I think, for the algorithms. Think about hitting the little notification bell if you do subscribe to be notified of all my new videos. And also, very important, try to share it with as many people as you can, people that you think could be interested. The goal of my channel, of course, is not to help people get rich through buying gold and silver or anything else. It's to try to help them understand how the monetary system works and how it's set up really to extract wealth from the average person, unless you're in the top 1 or even, let's say, top 10%. It's very hard in this system to, safeguard your savings. They make it very hard psychologically, I think, as well. And it's another reason why I have been stacking gold and silver for the last almost 20 years, because I've learned that the money we use, or the fiat currency we used, is really only based on faith and confidence. And while faith and confidence is still there, it has some value. But with gold and silver, they always have some value. And if you are interested in buying gold and silver, people have asked me where to get gold and silver in the past. Yes, check out Gold Investments. I have a promo code with them, Monaco 64. They are in the UK, of course, but they'll ship it anywhere in the world. But I realize it's more convenient, of course, for my UK viewers. And I also have a referral code with Glint. Glint, they store your gold in Switzerland in a segregated, allocated account. And they give you the opportunity or the wherewithal to actually spend that gold through a MasterCard. My referral code there is Mario Glint 79. So, the Fed's last chance. And why do I think that is? Well, because I think there are a lot of big investors, and even I think JP Morgan, the bank, yesterday talked about how they expect inflation to continue to be a problem. There's people like Stan Druckenmiller. There's people like Malone from, I think, Star Media. I remember last year, he talked about the fact that we're going to see continued currency debasement and that he's buying tangible assets, farmland, commodities, and things like that. And yesterday, I saw a very interesting interview on CNBC. I don't watch CNBC. Someone posted it on Twitter, and I took the link, and it's an interview with Paul Tudor Jones. Paul Tudor Jones is another one of those hedge fund pioneers, if you want to call it. And I'm not defending hedge funds, but you need to have an open mind and listen to this interview he talks about things that we've been covering here about how the stock market and the bond market are the most overvalued in like 100 years. I would say the stock market over 100 years. I think the bond market is the most overvalued in the history of humanity. I don't think maybe during World War II they kept rates very low, but we never had negative rates like we have in Europe. We haven't had the deeply negative real interest rates that we have now in the U.S. Treasury market. And he's talking about the fact that he wouldn't want to be a pension fund manager right now because those people, money managers, are supposed to keep an allocation of 60-40, 60% in stocks, 40% in bonds. And he admits that he doesn't know what is going on in the world. And I agree with him. There's so much talk aside from this crisis we've had in the last 16 months or so that we could have climate events now, that we'd have cyber events. So I think the powers that be, unfortunately, have a lot to present to us. They want to keep us scared. I spoke about earlier the psychological impact. And that's what this system does. The insiders know what's going on. They know how to react to these things. And that's why I think trying to be outside this system a bit is very good. And gold and silver give me that peace of mind because under a gold and silver central banking system, if you want to be your own central bank, you always got something tangible and physical outside the market. So yeah, highly recommend this interview. I'm not going to play it here. I'm going to put a link there. But basically, Paul Tudor Jones is saying I'm putting 5% of my portfolio or of his funds into commodities, gold, all the other commodities. 5% of it, even in Bitcoin, he's talking about. Have I got 5% in Bitcoin? Maybe in terms of exposure, maybe a little less. Do I think Bitcoin is going to take over everything like a lot of people think? I'm not sure. I don't know. But gold and silver have been around for thousands of years. So yes, he says this is the inflation trade. So yeah, that's the way to protect yourself. In my opinion, if you have your wealth or your savings in the stock market, in the bond market, and especially if you have someone looking after your money, you need to make sure that it's hedged right now. And I think the Federal Reserve, as I said, today and tomorrow will be very important because people like Paul Tudor Jones, who manage billions and billions of dollars, and others are starting to ask this question. And the more this question is out there, the more it is in people's minds. And the Fed, of course, always tries to manage perception. I don't think they will succeed because, as Paul Tudor Jones said, the Fed has gone so much into inflating, into printing money, and into accommodation that if they try to rein in the inflation through, let's say, first tapering the QE and then unwinding the balance sheet and then starting to raise rates, everything will implode and they'll have to start all over again. And they might try to do that. And that's why I think being outside the system is key. But if the Fed tomorrow comes out accommodative, if they don't show concern about inflationary pressures, I think we could see the next big leg up in commodities and precious metals and even cryptocurrencies and other inflation hedges. So with that, let's quickly look at where the markets are. It's 7:45 a.m. London time. We got spot gold up $2, 1868. The high's been 1869. The low 1858. Yeah, we saw continued pressure in paper gold yesterday. We dropped to like 1844, and then all of a sudden gold rebounded quite sharply. So who knows whether we've bottomed since it started coming off. It started coming off really on Friday after that very strong CPI on Thursday. I think the Fed and the powers that be were trying to control perception, right? They're trying to tell people, don't worry, disinflation is transitory. And Paul Tudor Jones actually said as well, the way he thinks, he doesn't see it as transitory. And I agree 100% with him, because what we're seeing now is the consequence of inflation that has been baked in the cake since 2008. And it was baked even more diligently since last year with the explosion in the money aggregates like M1, M2, M3. We don't keep track of it anymore because the Fed doesn't want you to know about it. Anyway, and that's what we're getting. And but the Fed is a cornered rat in terms of things. Damned if they fight inflation, damned if they continue inflating. Whatever they do, the system is in peril, and you need to be aware of that. I'm not going to say the world is going to end, of course, just things will get more difficult, I would say. So silver today is actually down 13 cents or 0.5%, while gold is up. The high's been 27.91, the low 27.58. The Dow futures up 66, NASDAQ future up 20, S&P future up 10. Sterling is unchanged, 141.15. The euro is up 0.1% at 121.35. Dollar yen is unchanged at 110.05. Dollar is at 640.15, unchanged versus the yuan, but it has picked up in the last few days from below 640. And the Aussie dollar, finish off with the Aussie dollar. We are at 77.08. So unchanged, but we did have a sharp drop yesterday in the Aussie dollar. WTI crude is trading around 71, up 0.4%. High-grade copper is actually down 2%. So pretty big drop here overnight. In copper, we're at 443.70. The 10-year yield is at 148, down about 2 basis points. So there you go. Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on the Fed over the next few days. Of course, it's really tomorrow that we need to wait for their announcement and the press conference. The announcement is at 2 p.m. New York time tomorrow, and the press conference, I think, starts 45 minutes or 30 minutes after that. And sometimes I watch it just to see how crazy and out of touch these central bankers are. But there you go. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and all these other platforms below here. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.